Welcome back to Relics of the Past. I'm Salt the Kobold. The very odd and strange-looking DM of this is gaggle of people and stuff. I am gathered by the same crew as we always are with King Boo playing
Eiko. Count Eiko. I saw my wife for like 1 second in the afterlife and then back. What's up with that?
Nate Drago playing
Kain Volt. I don't know what to say here.
the Modern Viking playing
Michaeleen of Kadala. It is a lovely pleasure to meet you all again.
Siren's Teacup playing
Estrella Palmer. I am traumatized from our last session, so forgive me if I do something erratic. I'm trying to process
Daredevil?
everything.
Ace Daredevil playing
The name's Abe Volt. It's wonderful to see you all again.
and Hyonk Ducky playing
Raylo or Reyna and Retlo. Excuse me.
When we last left off our campaign, there was a frightening battle that was had. The heavens were shook, lights were shined, and the world now knows that there are two gods on the material plane. Demigods, but gods nonetheless. As when this battle of great frightening might and power was displayed, it was done in Viril. And like any sane people would, the king and his armies went to investigate. It took them 7 days to reach the frightful location of where this battle was placed. And they discovered a ship on the ground near no water. And they were curious about it. Abe, you are at the top of the ship in the crow's nest, with a spyglass in your hand, looking throughout the dune, doing whatever you were doing up there. As you notice a glint in the distance, you focus on it and see that it is a large number of people, an army, with weapons and tools ready to fight if necessary. They're about 2 hours out.
Okay, but at the same time, like, Abe would have no idea that the weapons were just for a, like, just-in-case kind of scenario. He would just see what is considered an army heading towards the ship, armed and ready.
Basically.
Cool. Anyways, guess what's going on lockdown?
Oh my goodness.
Everyone, wherever you are on the ship, you see that the ship proceeds shutting down. Doors begin sealing shut, barring gets placed, whatever turrets are functional at least are engaged and are ready.
Now, I'm not going to fire first.
Just starts racing.
I'm not going to fire first, but if they're going to be ready, so am I.
So, the ship is on lockdown, but as you guys are the adventuring party, you guys can move through the lockdown with relative ease. There are a few points where the system does get difficult, but it's merely just radioing in saying, hey, I'm at this place, can you open the door, please? And you can move about. All of you collectively gather together at the helm of the ship, with the bottom up online, and you get a rough... The table begins to shift and give you a rough layout of what the possible battlefield might look like. You guys are essentially right next to a giant crater that was made by, well, Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Hi.
What's happening? What? It's not again.
Eiko, it's all right. There's just a large group of an armed force approaching the ship. I'd say at this point they're probably about an hour and a half away out. Alright, we have plenty of time, and we're not looking to start a fight. I just wanted to be ready for one.
Sorry.
If I'm correct, you said, what, 90 some odd Odons on the ship?
Yeah, before they showed up. Before the fucking fight. Yeah. Now there's probably like 20.
I'm gonna say over the week's time. Wait, no, you were depleted of resources, were you not? Or did you get restocked?
No, we restocked. So if it's been a week, we have at least 90 working crew.
Didn't
I'm gonna say
Mr.
a nice
Cogwinder
even
get
100.
us restocked?
Yeah, he got us restocked.
Yeah, Xander got you restocked.
Yeah, Lord Cogwinder.
Xander Cogwinder, but yeah. Oh, then with that, the party is collectively surrounded around the table, at least. What are your preparations or plan for this?
Well,
Of the guns on the deck. Oh, sorry.
no, you go ahead.
Of the guns on the deck, we have maybe 6 still functional, and only 3 of them, only 3 of them would be on the side that they're approaching from. Technically, all of the normal main cannons work, but I'm reluctant to use them against actual infantry, so...
Okay. Manable gun emplacements?
Those are the ones that we only have 6 of left.
Okay. Yes?
Could a theoretically create a launcher that could throw an entire deck of cards pretty damn far?
Jesus Christ, why are you trying to throw a deck of cards?
Okay.
And technically
Yes,
any of the guns can.
We agreed
Yeah,
last
not
time 2
gambit.
cards is the maximum.
5 cards per round is the maximum.
Yeah, let's not do a full deck of cards.
You're
Please.
not Gambit.
No.
And besides, the deck of cards is more so like a brick of C4 than anything else. Anyway,
And
so
we do not need to give the old man a heart attack. We
Again.
had that last time.
Yes.
so the map, anyway, as you guys are beginning to make your preparations up, the map does adjust itself now. So the armed force it looks like the armed forces have split to what essentially a back line and a front line, with maybe about 100 to 150 yards between the two lines. Dare, describe the map to me again, if I'm correct. It's pins that raise up from the ground.
What do you mean?
The map table. How does it?
Oh yeah, the map table is like metallic pins that raise up and allow us to see like a basic visual without any color.
Okay.
Lights.
I'm
going to be adding lights to be giving color, but for right now it's just metal pins.
Okay. I will say. You see about in the back line, about 25. There's a section of pins and stuff, about 25 of them, where the pins raise up a little higher than the rest of the line. Ein, feel free to make an investigation check.
Hold on. I want to get my dice tower. This thing rolls better than I do, so. That is a 19.
Okay. With what your general gist, you're pretty sure there's some sort of something fairly heavy duty. You have a few options there, but would you like to look out the window to get a better feel for what they are?
Yeah. Is there any chance I also saw it when I was looking out the glass? Or looking at the crow's nest?
When you're up in the crow's nest, you kind of just got a general glint. They were a bit further out back then.
Okay.
But they are much closer now, so you can look out the window with the spyglass and probably get a better view.
Okay, yeah. I'll take a look. So Abe's gonna... I was just gonna say, Abe's gonna go over to the window and put the spyglass up to his eye.
Okay. As you look out, you see what looks like to be long poles in almost like a regimented fashion, and you immediately put two together. Those are artillery cannons. And there's 25 of them.
Well, suddenly Abe no longer has any qualms about using the main cannons.
Redlow's gonna raise his hand.
What would you like to do with this information?
Okay. So, Abe is gonna slowly turn around to look at the rest of the party. So... Okay, if a fight does start,
Aren't we in a flying ship? Can't we just leave?
The engines are still incomparable with the amount of damage they took. These gonna need another 2 to 3 weeks to be fully repaired.
Redlow's just
unfortunately,
gonna pop off like, can we just talk to him?
I would love to talk to them, but they're currently rolling up with artillery, so...
What if it is just as a last resort? Let's be real here. What happened here deserves that kind of...
It was an epic light show of fucked shit. Would you come up with nothing?
It was a very good point.
Frankly, I'm sort of surprised that they're so lightly armed.
Lightly armed. They
Compared
have
to what I've
artillery.
Compared to what I've seen of you, can you blame me for... Look, you've kind of blown all of my expectations out of
Anyone
the
looking
water.
at the map by any chance? Or war table?
I was.
Okay. You notice in the front line and stuff that they have that 3 pins kind of separate out, and it's kind of like lowering down, then raising up, lowering down, then raising up, as it almost looks like something is moving. So it looks like a few pins are kind of moving up. At least 3 pins.
Can you re-describe to me the map table? I was barely listening.
So you know those tactile toys and stuff with the metal pins that lift up and down, and when you push against them?
Yeah, the ones that kind of the toy that you can put your hand up into and it'll create like
That makes the outline of it.
Oh, the middle finger.
Yeah, I've got
machine.
one of those actually. It's
Yeah.
a purple plastic.
It's essentially that, but it's like, instead of like larger pins like that, they're like micro pins. Like laying on this thing would feel like lying on a bed of millions of
Needles.
doornails.
Okay. So then, if that's the case, then it would probably. So would 3 be big enough for a person, or something, or would that be really?
Depends on how it's zoomed, because it can be, because it's not like a fixed thing. You can zoom in and actually see like full figures.
Okay. So I'm gonna say it's currently zoomed out, currently at the current moment, and so I'm giving you an overview, and it has 3 pins that are all moving closer.
Gotcha. From the front of it?
Yeah, so you have the back line, and then you have the front line, and then 3 pins with the current zoomed out are moving towards the ship.
Oh my goodness.
Who's looking at the table right now?
I am.
Okay.
Abe, it looks like at least part of them have broken off and are moving in a different direction.
Almost like... Well then, sounds like we've got some people to talk to. Hopefully they'll be fine with just talking.
Considering that they showed up armed to the teeth nearly, how are we going to explain all of this?
Very
All of the
carefully.
events?
Let me do the talking.
Well, seeing as how there's only 3 going...
I have my way with higher up people as well.
Above board. The reason why I want to do the talking is because I have a +6 in persuasion.
I have an entire language made for aristocrats called
Yeah.
And we're
Aristocrat,
dealing with soldiers right now.
and who
You don't know
needs
who's coming up. You don't know
I
who's
also
coming
have a +6. and persuasion.
I don't know. I can speak a bunch of languages. That's all I know.
We're not
Would the
gonna
party
talk
like?
about
Would the party like my 2 cents? Or you?
Go ahead.
Sure.
I would say the leader of the party, along with charismatic aid and the war general should go.
Who's the leader of the party?
There.
No.
Their leader.
Ah.
Who appointed
You
him?
can-
leader?
I guess the DM did just now. What the hell?
By
He's the
divine declaration.
It's fine. It's fine.
The gods have
It does not
spoken!
bother me.
Look, am I
He
being
put
made
it
the leader
in
purely because I have the
That's
ship?
pick.
You are God's chosen.
Well, no. First off, A, yes, you do own the ship. Secondly, you have been kind of acting like a leader to some point and pointing the party in better directions.
He's our leader.
Look, I tolerate the guy, but he does not speak for me.
He's our leader, but I'm his moral compass.
Sounds like a plan, because Abe doesn't have one.
They're my landlords.
Anyway, so
I thought you were a count. Shouldn't you have your entire?
Shouldn't
you should
he be the
lord of a
landlord?
large
Actually,
amount of land.
hold on a second.
Oh, I am.
Hold on a
I'm just
second.
here. I own
What
a
does
fucking
Count?
island. I'm
What does
just here with
Count?
you nerds.
What does Count Eiko think of Abe taking a section of land and building his own city? Being like,
He thinks
your
Abe
laws,
is overcompensating
fuck your nobility.
for something.
doing it myself.
Overcompensate.
He's overcompensating.
Well, he doesn't have
What?
anything, so. He has.
Really?
He has no
he has to
genitalia.
overcompensate for something because he doesn't have that something. Poor guy.
Nothing to compensate for.
Exactly.
He's like a Ken doll.
Oh, God.
anyway,
Canonically, yes, he
anyway.
would be.
So, anyway, what's the party doing?
Well, let's see. They're sending 3 out, so 3 are gonna have to go. I think any more than that will come off as hostile. Any less than that will come off as
Suspicious.
kind of like a middle finger.
The question
Well,
is
you
who
know
to
that
send.
too.
Who do we send?
I personally think that Kain and Michaeleen and Eiko should go. Eiko can speak Aristocant, and he's got away with his noble status. Michaeleen has a way with talking with people.
All right.
Are you going to join us? Or
I
Abe.
will leave it up to you. It's my ship, so if you want me to go, I will. But with what you've just seen, it's entirely. I'll leave it up to you.
Abe, I've seen you do some crazy shit. The fact that you turned into a golden pillar of light and then turned into this whatever the hell it was to fight your brother after he turned into whatever the hell that is, as he points to Kain in his monstrous form. But I've personally seen quite a lot in my life. There's very little that will surprise me anymore. You're still the same person who helped me back in. What was the name of the city of that we met Kezes?
Sauce.
Chrysos?
Yeah, Chrysos.
You're still the person who got me out of the mess in Chrysos.
Understandable.
It would take a lot more to shake my faith in you.
Eiko, do you have any qualms with me going with you?
I owe you one.
I guess that settles it.
For
Okay, then.
what felt like 3 seconds, I was not here. I owe you one.
So what is the party's reply to this? And I will say that the dots have stopped. If you look back at the pins, they've stopped maybe about 200 yards away. Well, not 200 yards. I'm gonna say maybe, 200 yards away from the ship. Kind of sitting there right now.
Okay. So I guess that makes it Michaeleen, Eiko, and I will be going to meet the emissaries.
Retlo and Reyna just kind of like
I
shrug.
don't think I should go to that, more than likely.
Considering
No.
what you look like now and can't
No.
change back, no.
Kain, to save any possible negative hostility towards any of us, I think it might be best if you sequester yourself to your room.
Estrella,
Alright.
Yes, Michaeleen.
where did you procure your glamour to make you look like you're not yourself?
If I remember right, I got it back. Not when we were in Kaidala, but the,
Volmerica?
Wasn't it in the Arathnica?
Yeah,
Yes.
Ravnica.
With the
I
weird
got it.
horse dude.
the centaur and his snake wife.
Yeah.
I got it from Arathnica.
Well, we might have to stop back there and get one for Kain. Unless I can figure out some way to reverse the way he looks.
Is wearing the glamour. Well, you're a smart person. I bet when we're traveling long distance somewhere, I could let you borrow it, and perhaps you could reverse engineer one. If that helps,
Yeah, that's a good idea too. Thank you.
I'd lend it to you now, but well, actually, I'm going to be staying on the ship, so
But he will be leaving the ship.
I would keep it for now, just in
Alright,
case someone sneaks on board.
Of course, because the old House of Montague has heists and ears almost everywhere.
And we can't afford our healer dying.
Our first healer. We.
Hey.
But
You have a spare healer now.
No. Spare isn't used on this shit. Not when it comes to people.
Michaeleen is going to look at him and sort of smirk as he hears him say that, because he's making progress in being an actual person again.
So, Abe, I do have a question. Are you wearing your mask for this?
Ooh. Abe's gonna reach into his pocket and pull the mask out and put it on. As it like clicks onto his face and you can hear steam hiss out the edge.
Okay then, so you're concealing your face then. Gotcha.
And all of a sudden, Retlo is very much paying attention.
Describe how the party leaves the ship. You have multiple methods available to you. How do you get to the ground?
I'm gonna take the escalators down and go
Yeah,
like we did
please,
at the
just
old place.
You do have a
Possibly do
gangway.
something a little easier.
Resource.
We'll do the
Eiko
escalator.
very much right now is actively he's using the cane properly. I don't think I've said this, but the session before, how we ended with Eiko kind of passing out, that was a full-on heart issue.
So
Can
Aiko's
we get some nitroglycerin over here? Put some glycerin.
Aiko's most certainly looking worse for
I'm
wear
fine.
over the week. With the week of recovery he has had, he is a little bit better, but his legs are a little wobbly.
I will say, if it was actually a heart issue, there is nitroglycerin on the ship.
Again,
course
how
there
are you
is.
making your explosives?
What? What? I don't know what I was talking about.
Anyway, so you guys proceed to deploy an escalator and lead down.
Do we need to roll a d4 to see how many minutes it takes us to get down?
Nope, I'm making it simple. Dare you
We're
kind of put the
Fall Joe
motor
Biden
in
style.
high gear, at least manage to make it down relatively quick.
Okay.
So it's not super long. You guys proceed to walk a little bit, and I'm guessing maybe get about 80 yards away from the ship before. And as you guys see it now, there are 3 people on horses. One of them is what looks like to be on a black horse wearing this very almost dark green-esque armor. Their helmet doesn't really have looks like any kind of form of eye sit. Maybe a light bit of like serpent-esque detailing. And then on the back of the helmet, it's flat on top, but on the back, there's a very bright red plumage and stuff. As red as fire.
I give Lucy a scritch on the head.
Fire. On the other side, there looks like to be what looks like to be a mage wearing robes. Robes donned in a hood with various pieces of scroll work next to them and things of that nature. And the person in the middle is what looks like to be a half-elf with a crown upon his head and wearing fairly regal-looking but actually combat-effective armor. With both a sword and shield, with both a sword and rifle sheathed on his horse. Almost ready for action. And ammunition to go with. If he proceeds, just as you guys are looking, you can kind of see a little bit talking before he himself proceeds to ride up towards you. Adjust so we have good mic quality for this.
There is a person raising their hand.
Yes.
Can I roll history
I was
on this
just
regal
about
man?
to-
Honestly, so
Sure.
could I?
Yeah.
Sure. I'll allow
I
Eiko to go.
wonder if I've had any connection at some point.
Michaeleen has been in Viril before, so I'm also going to roll
Related.
history.
Ooh, 19.
23.
Landed on something
Plus,
weird.
hold on, where's my history modifier?
That
History
is
is
a
intelligence.
3.
19 plus 9. 19 plus 9.
So
Yeah.
I got a 3, so 6.
I got a 14 plus
28.
9, so 23.
28.
No idea.
And then I got 28. So, Michaeleen, you know he's somewhat important. You can probably put two together. Michaeleen, no, Abe and Eiko immediately recognize who he is and stuff. This is the king of Viril. Eiko, you particularly know that you know his name at least. You've heard it in passing and stuff from the lords of Viril and their passers-by and stuff. His name is Malric Lionheart. He's not the first ruler of Viril. He's the 6th or 7th one they've had out of his family. And a current thing he's currently doing, at least, is, you know, he prefers the term president, which is a bit foreign to you, but
I interacted with him in some way before.
not in person, but you have interacted with some of his servants and lords within his territories before.
Like proper land trading and whatnot.
Yeah, things of that nature.
Yeah.
You know he is a very, from what you've heard and stuff from the grapevine stuff, he is a very just man and honest man. And typical of Viril, the people of Viril and stuff, they will not cheat or lie to your face. They will tell you the honest and blatant truth, even if it hurts. Right? So they do not lie or cheat. So you know damn well he isn't going to be spinning any lies or anything.
Get on my couch.
Abe, you get, besides the more direct name and things of that nature, you have a general just King of Varil, most likely not gonna lie, but you're still on edge. Eiko knows damn well for sure for that.
Okay.
So he proceeds to ride up in front of you on his horse before. So the standard riding up directly and stuff and turning to the side. Alright.
What time is it?
I'm gonna say maybe an hour before noon.
May you repeat to me the name of the president again?
Malric Lionheart.
Malric Lionheart. Let me write that down.
And the pronunciation of it could be, again, you can go either or with it, Malric or Malric.
Say that again.
Malric.
M-A-L-R-I-K.
All right.
And he's the half elf, right?
Yeah, he is a half elf. Greetings. Greetings.
Abe is gonna respond in Elvish. Good morning.
He responds in Elvish and kind. Good day to you as well, sir. Are you the leader of this troop? Owner of this vessel?
I am in fact the owner of this vessel.
I see. And I presume the two men in front of you, and this is in Elvish. Elvish. And I presume the two men next to you are cohorts, if I'm correct.
Hold on a second. Let me check my language. Ha 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 ha. I understand Elvish.
I figured one of you did.
Blade Singer.
I only understand Sylvan and Tabaxi and Thieves' Cant.
Gotcha.
Yeah. To put simply, Sylvan is kind of the root language of Elvish to some degree, so...
Am I picking up a few words?
Not entirely. The
Getting
words,
meaning.
Yeah. So some of the words sound familiar to you, like in Sylvan, but they have like like the way they're being used is like your mentality for Sylvan and stuff. It's like they're going completely like breaking the rules constantly and stuff with the way they're speaking. But for them, that is making total sense. Put it this way, you're speaking Latin and stuff, while they're speaking French.
So Eiko nods as he is addressed as and your two accomplices. Eiko nods.
Yes, these are my friends.
It is a pleasure to see you in person.
Anyway, he switches
President
to common.
Lionheart.
Eiko says in Elven.
He takes note of that and stuff and gives a slight nod. By chance, and he's looking directly at you, Abe.
I think we'll introduce ourselves in a moment.
Yes.
Would you care to have any... Okay, above board. I'm trying my best way to figure out to make it sound good.
Regal.
Good, okay? Yeah. I'm kind of ad-libbing this shit, okay?
Okay, what is...
A king would not... Okay, yeah. A king wouldn't ask for something. A president would be more so, respectful of someone else.
Which he absolutely is. So...
I say in Sylvan to him, for the sake of us all, can you please switch to common?
No, he
Which
already
probably...
did.
Oh, he already did?
Yeah, So, probably the last thing he would say would be in common.
Yeah, let's rewind a little bit. He swapped... So, that's not... But let's speak plainly, gentlemen. As he says that in common. So, 7 days ago, my wizard my magical advisor detected a large bout of magical energy. And I saw from my own personal chambers 2 great beams of light, one as black as night and the other one bright as daylight. But would you have any explanation or knowing of what happened?
We landed in the crater, didn't we?
I'm gonna say the ship is right next to it.
It's gonna be kind of hard to say no here.
We're just as confused as you. We saw the same thing and decided to come and see for ourselves. But when we got here, there was a problem with our engines. So we don't actually know what happened here.
As I'm going to roll for deception.
I was going to be honest about this, but okay.
Okay, but consider this. They get hostile.
They get hostile finding out that we have 2 demigods.
You lie to a president, they get hostile.
Yeah,
We
let's
got
not.
2 demigods.
We got 2
so
demigods, and let's not piss off the president who has artillery aimed at the Seraphim.
That is a fucking natural 20 right there for persuasion.
Okay then.
Plus my +6, which is 26.
Okay then. And then now I have to roll against it.
What'd you roll?
This was beating you. He got a 25.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh, so close yet so far.
Him, when you speak at least, he raises a bit of an eyebrow and stuff, and... Does he speak for all of you?
Well, what he says is correct, so yes.
Well... He kind of thinks over it a little bit. He proceeds to take a deep breath and stuff and then just sighs. So then whatever thing caused it is no longer here.
It was longer.
Thank the Maker. Maker. He proceeds to wave an arm up and stuff and just gives like a bit of a hand signal. Signal. The general, the one in the green armor proceeds to take a nod, so they proceed to turn around and ride back. While the other one seems to ride closer, at least.
Would you and your advisor care to join us for a drink?
As the advisor rides up and stuff, he rides up and lowers his hood, revealing that he is a hobgoblin, bright red skin. And hobgoblins have they have tusks, but not to the same extent as orcs. For them, they are very light. He has basically 2 smaller tusks and stuff, barely poking out above his lips. At least, maybe an inch at the longest. At least, he has jet black hair, typical of hobgoblins, and he has a pair of round spectacles on his face. Well, I believe introductions are needed first. If you don't know already, I am President Mauric Lionheart, or King, if you prefer that title. I don't. And this is my magical advisor, sir, Vander Starhollow.
My name is Abe Volt. I am the owner of the Seraphim which sits behind us, and my friends can speak for themselves.
I am Michaeleen of Catalan, a member of the Order of Aethor, a professional monster hunter. You can quite clearly see why I came.
As he gestured to the destruction around us.
I'd like to know exactly what happened here myself.
President Lionheart, I am Count Eiko Sugimoto. We have worked together in the past before. Tradings and whatnot. You've used
Yes.
the oceans around my permitted trading and
Of course.
merchant ships to pass by.
Yes. I haven't met. This is my first time meeting you personally, Count Eiko. Oh, but I have heard of.
As for me,
I have heard of your dealings and stuff from the lords of my lands. I thank you for letting us use the waters near your land and to transport our
but
goods.
of course.
Oh, as you mentioned drinks? As he proceeds to hop off his horse.
Yes, of course. Please, follow me.
I'm going to use the radio ring that we all have and sort of radio back up to them saying,
We have company. Might want to get our friend to a safer location.
All right. Where are we supposed to put him?
Put him in the cargo bay.
All right.
Kane's going into the cargo bay.
Estrella.
Above board. Sorry, real quick. Above board. Kain will find Rexy down there.
Sure. So, okay, I'm sorry, just sitting above board for half a second. Kain, are you just tuning this entire thing out?
No, I've been listening to parts of it, but I got some mental shit going on right now. That's why I texted in the chat.
Gotcha.
Oh, g'day. Well, your character finds Rexy and you two begin playing around there. Odon's moving stuff out of the way, so, when the roughhousing gets too much, you aren't damaging shit.
And
No description on how Rexy looks now?
He's not fully finished. He's more so just an exoskeleton at this point.
Oh, it's not functional?
He's functional. He just doesn't have his final look.
Ah, gotcha.
So at this point, he quite literally does.
He's online, but he looks like he's been in the bad part of Compton.
So
It's like
you remember
C-3PO in
C-3PO
episode
from
1.
Phantom Menace?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
That's
C-3PO
what Rexy looks like right now. Like, he's got a lot of parts exposed.
He
He's
looks
functional,
like,
but he looks like garbage.
He looks like a Game Boy with one of those translucent covers.
Yeah, pretty much. And Kain, just be honest here. Like, if you saw Rex, like if Kain saw Rexy, and even though he wasn't fully put together but functioning, Kain would play with him, wouldn't he?
Yeah, you are.
This mouse is giving me grief, and I hate it.
Still above board, would Retlo and Reyna have like procured some of these like radio rings, or are they still like
Yes.
not a thing for them?
They would actually have two.
Yeah, you have a set because you're two people.
Bet. That's what I'm saying. Like rings,
Yeah.
multiple.
You're collecting them like Sonic the Hedgehog.
I know. I've got fucking earrings and rings, and like there's so much shit on Retlo and Reyna. It's on what the fuck is the word? It's whatever.
Frozen brain. That's what it was.
Retlo and Reyna, Renlo.
Renlo, yeah.
Anyway, so the king proceeds. Anyway, Malric and Vander proceed to follow you on board your ship. Yep. And for Estrella, you do okay. Abe, you do get a bit of a note from Jeff, who was in the control bay,
Mhm.
or at the war table. So he does mention stuff that the artillery cannons have been lowered, at least.
Gotcha.
So instead of being angled back, ready to fire and stuff, they've been lowered down
Oh my gosh.
and stuff. So So then, as the king proceeds to, as everyone proceeds to get on and stuff, that green armored individual proceeds to come running back and stuff and join for drinks.
Gotcha.
Well, join as well. And with their helmet on, you can't really tell what they are underneath.
Gotcha.
Well, not yet, at least.
Well, we will take them to the second lower level where all the, like, living quarters and the lounge is. That's where the drinks are.
And it goes without saying, but Estrella is in her quail glamour, so she's not a canary, she's a quail.
Is Rainlow going to be manning the bar?
If you need him to. Just.
I would have thought that Jeff would have been doing it.
Oh, that's true. We could have Jeff do it.
Or you could have Michaeleen do it. Try getting.
I'm gonna say, just for simplicity's sake, like, Renlow's sitting at the bar and stuff, watching Jeff massively just tossing drinks together.
And Renlow's just like hands on chin, just
Watching
staring.
Oh, Renlow is into hentai. That's why.
No,
Renlow is into anything that is of
Everything.
age and consents.
Oh my god.
so
And
no,
they're supposed to be a
remember, Jeff,
cleric and a paladin.
Just saying.
Don't you know
Yeah,
that the religious ones are the most fucking slutty?
Okay, just saying at least. Jeff is an octopus in a fishbowl head. He has mechanical arms he's using for the drinks. It's for his robot body. He's a literal fish butler.
I love it. It's so funny.
Eiko's kind as everybody's going up and whatnot, and eventually Eiko's gonna be beelining to the bar as well.
So, anyway, as you guys proceed to enter and stuff, Jeff is currently doing a high pour and stuff through a sieve into a martini glass as a layered drink gets poured out and stuff that shifts from like a very dark blue up to almost like a pale green color and stuff. Garnishes it with a few things and then proceeds to slide it over to Renlow.
Thanks, boss.
You're welcome. In a very mechanical English accent. Think Jarvis, okay?
I'm sorry. I had a terrible brain moment.
Anyway, Jeff does notice the king proceed to walk in and stuff behind you guys, or first, however. And he does proceed to give a bow and stuff respecting the royal figure that walked in. So, what can I get everyone? The king...
4 cups of ghoul, please.
Could you perhaps give me a dragon's ember elixir?
Master Abe?
I'll take a whiskey neat. Bartender's
Yes, sir.
choice.
So I'm just
on my
checking.
tongue.
Are they back on the ship then?
We are.
Mm-hmm.
We are, along with the king. That's why you're down in the cargo hold.
Oh. Damn, I'm really not going to be able to do anything this session.
Downside of looking like a beast all the time.
And
Granted, we could have the Scooby-Doo situation where you try and stand as still as possible, and we try and pass you off as a stuffed animal.
Or Abe can explain the situation.
We've already lied.
We've already lied at this point. We've already
I
lied.
don't know
Already
why.
lied.
We show you,
God,
it's going to be a
no.
little
The
interesting.
party. I actually was gonna-
Wait, hold on. I missed you lying about me. Hold on. What was the lie?
We
The
lied.
lie
and-
was-
We don't know what happened. We just kind
We
of
don't-
showed up.
After the fact, when we were really the cause of it, We showed up after
No.
all this
I
destruction
mean,
happened.
explain like, this is my brother. Bad things happened.
Say that he's
so
cursed.
far the president doesn't know you exist.
Well,
Yeah.
I want to actually do something this session. Like,
So
How about this?
no one
How
is
about
stopping you
run
from
in
coming
with
up.
Rexy?
okay,
You run
then
in with Rexy.
I'm coming up with a bare bones Rexy. We're going to get
Oh
snacked.
God, no, bare bones.
Little bit of time and stuff of him coming up with Rexy and stuff, looking for snacks, acts and stuff, so you guys can at least talk a little bit before shit hits the fan.
Because that's the funny
Woo!
part.
So then,
Now you've got my attention again, even though I'm.
anyways, so everyone proceeds entering and stuff. Drinks are proceeding to made. The king is a little bit amazed. He proceeds to get he essentially gets what you're getting there, Miss
Okay.
Keeney, and
4 cups of ghoul.
I just realized I'm out of snacks.
Poor.
Michaeleen
Just-
ordered I asked ChatGPT to make up a fantasy cocktail name, and it gave me Dragon's Ember.
Dragon's Ember.
Right. So the dragon.
I could design
okay, I'll
that.
just.
That would be awesome.
Anyway, so the dragon's ember. So the way it is made with various shades of like dark gray or whatever liquids. But then on the drop of it, it is a singular drop that kind of sinks through the varying layers and thickness of the drink and stuff, and at the bottom kind of sits there almost glowing, making a whole look of like an ember kind of in the air. As a
Man, son of a bitch.
Explain 4 cups of ghoul.
ghoul.
4 cups of
Ghoul is rather heavy and dark.
Cool.
No, it's this universe's world. It's this universe's Jägermeister.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what this
Ghoul
is.
juice.
Did somebody say Jaeger bombs?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Eiko just got 4 of them.
yeah, they are
4
served
cups
in
of
these
ghoul.
they're served in these little tiny dishes, kind of bowl-esque, and essentially you have the drop of ghoul on itself, and on top has been poured a little bit of like a light lemon lime water and stuff to help kind of cut it, but there's most certainly a different degree of thickness and viscosity level. The ghoul is very thick and almost syrup-like, and stuff with the bubbly water on top is very light. But there's like downing it is gonna be like downing a raw egg.
Do it.
Rainlow's gonna lean over to Eiko and be like, "What you got there?
4 cups of ghoul.
Looks pretty good."
It hits you immediately, but when you get to be my age, it's not that bad.
Did someone
How
say
old
hit
are
you
you
immediately?
anyway?
Bonk.
When Michaeleen
And-
finishes his drink and he gets down to the ember, can we say that it makes some smoke come out of his mouth and he can blow a smoke ring?
Spicy.
Very warm, tingly sensation. Very warm, tingly sensation. And as you breathe out the smoke ring and stuff, a few sparks kind of leave your mouth.
Oh, Eiko, 4 cups of ghoul just.
Anyway, Abe, you notice that you taste the whiskey. It's a really good one. Think of your personal favorite, IRL, and that's what it tastes like. So it's top shelf stuff. Poured. Anyway.
And you said the king got the same one as me?
He's
Yes.
dying.
He's dying.
The king
Okay.
probably got his heavily watered down by what's his name, Jeff.
I hope so.
Okay.
The king does kind of take a moment to cough, at least to break the tension. So, who did you have commissioned where did you have this ship commissioned? And how did you get beached this far up?
There.
Well, it's not exactly beached. But I had it built.
If you were to take off, it would be kidnapping the king.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
And they will fire.
Yeah, we're not doing
Plus,
that.
we can't. We're stuck for another, 3 days.
Yeah, the ship is still under repair. It's not beached. The ship. This is not your typical boat. And I had it built by a smith from Arachnis. Arachnica.
Arachnica. His name was Azo.
The Azo part didn't get mentioned. He kind of thinks back.
I'm saying this above board. Did I say
Above
it in
board.
Michaeleen's
Thank you.
voice?
Oh, my apologies.
When
my
I'm
apologies.
talking in my own voice, it's above
Oh.
board.
Anyway, Maloric, it takes a moment to think, wait, are you talking about Master Craftsman Azo? Azo, the Master Craftsman Azo from Arachnica.
Azo Tanya is his last name. Tanya.
Yes, he and I are good friends.
Well then, that certainly puts me at ease then. As he says that, is that you guys hear some heavy footsteps, boom, boom, as the green armored individual proceeds to walk in. And my liege, I've arrived. Babe, no need, Reese. There's no need for all the hot. Dan, please
Hostility.
be at ease. As you wish, sire. They proceed to do two buckle on the bottom edge of their helmet, and their helmet kind of almost latches onto their head. As they proceed to undo that, they lift up a portion of it on the back and proceed to pull it off their head. And as two pointed ears proceed to come out, revealing a elven-like face. But upon her cheeks, like going down from her neck all the way up, look like to be almost scales. In a sense. Very neat and tidy scales, rather small.
Brainlow is looking.
May I read history? I think I know what this is, or what she is. But could
Either
I ask
half
her-
dragon.
She does have a rather long and skinny tail. That part is obvious.
She you on tea?
Above board, you're close. But
So-
what kind of you are?
Gift Yankee.
Abe has.
Tell her you want.
Hey,
You want
level.
tea again?
Abe knows of many different races for scientific reasons throughout the 400 years he was by himself. May I run history to see if I know
and
what
don't forget, our
species she
parents
is?
did all that fucking research, dude. So they have extensive research on races.
Well, no, he also did his own personal study.
On-
Oh
You
yeah,
know.
but I guarantee our parents had some shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, may I?
Could I also possibly roll as well?
Absolutely, go for it.
All right, how much longer till I can walk in?
You're below deck and
I rolled a 19, so that's
He's
plus
going-
9 is a
He's going to
28.
come back up soon.
Ooh,
Estrella.
16 plus
Estrella.
5, that is 21. Oh, wait, no, 16. No, not plus 5, it's history. So 16 plus 9, that'd be 25.
Jesus Christ.
Meanwhile, this
I
whole
forgot you're all 9.
This whole time, Estrella's been sipping her amber leaf tea in her quail disguise, and I can't remember if I gave her disguised version, her disguised self, a name. And if that's the case, then she needs a name.
Farilla.
Okay. Work
What
on
now?
that.
Farilla. Instead of Estrella, it's Farilla.
No.
I thought you said gorilla.
Gorilla of the woods.
Gorilla.
woods.
Gorilla of the woods. There's a gorilla in these woods. Guys, be careful. There's a gorilla in these woods.
Guys, I think I heard there's gonna be a gorilla.
Alexander
Thank God they're not using guerrilla tactics.
Alexander Hamilton, why are there so many perverts in your mansion?
Perverts, what do you mean?
Anyway, so
They keep beeping at us while we're sleeping and changing our clothes. They keep offering us things like sausage, except it's not really sausage. I'll take a bite out of it. I'll take a bite out of it, but it wasn't a sausage at
You guys,
all.
stop.
What was it?
It was a
penis.
Spit it out, right?
Let's get back to whatever the fuck we were doing before.
Yeah.
Welcome to the part that's going to get cut out of the video.
Oh, let it stay in. We need intermission.
That's why you watch it Twitch.
So you get all the fun things.
Exactly.
With
And
all 3 people watching, including myself.
And me.
For anybody who's watching, I will kiss you on your mouth.
God. Okay, let's not. Let's not.
Who's all watching? If Michaeleen's in there, who else? Okay. I know who the other person is, so.
Anywho, so then, with that, she seems very tense, and she has very dark red hair, nearly black, but you can most certainly tell that it's red. She has it kind of done up in a warrior-style bun, but it's kind of able to tuck down and such for her helmet. And she does have rather long hair by the looks of it. Her eyes are slitted, and she's very much looking around the room constantly, checking for alert. She is not the biggest lass, but she would be sitting comfortably at maybe 6'1", 6'2". Ooh.
I will be adjusting my posture to be a little bit more suave.
Raylo too. Raylo just like sits back, kind of leaning on the counter, like.
Eiko just like face palms.
Estrella sighs and just goes to stare into her cup of tea.
If you guys want to try to seduce Reese, go ahead.
Yeah,
No,
please don't.
Thanks for giving them the option.
Please don't.
All right, I won't. But
Reese's cups.
let's
Reese's
get
cups.
this. Let's get the freaking story going. Come on, I want to see.
Yeah. Sorry.
I want to see Kane's entrance into this shit show.
Oh, me too.
Please no. Please
You're
no.
gonna hear thumping, loud thumping coming up the stairs.
Come
on!
Anyway,
2 more interactions between someone.
so then. She is very much tense, and best way I can describe her, she's like a clenched fist and stuff of like just waiting to punch somebody. But after she was told to kind of loosen up, it's like her fist isn't shaking right now, but it's still balled up in a fist.
Estrella looks at her
Would
and
be the
says,
mentality.
Estrella looks at her, kind of says, "Are you all right?"
Now transform, it'll change the mood.
No, I'm not going to transform into my pentagon girl.
Yes.
You don't know. No duck dress. No.
What about the
I
other
wasn't
one?
thinking the duck dress. I was thinking about the other one.
No. I'm not turning into the bunny
So,
girl either. That was horrible.
So Estrella, Reese's eyes, like she doesn't even change her head position or anything. Her eyes just kind of down to you. And you just get a very, like, due to the height difference, and you, I presume, are sitting down.
Yes, Estrella's sitting down at the bar with
She just
a
kind
cup.
of looms over you for like half a second, staring down and stuff. Her yellow eyes just beaming directly into yours, as if she just to go back looking forward.
You have very pretty eyes. Wow.
My liege. Oh, no, nah, she just stays quiet. Anyway,
What's her name again? Reese?
Reese.
Reese.
Well,
Above
Reese.
board, her full name is Reese. Reese Deathtesh.
How do you spell
Death Tesh.
She's getting in my notes.
So it's ReeseDeathTesh.
It's a lot of letters.
that? Spell the last name again?
Death
Death?
Death.
P-E-S-H.
Death Tesh.
Death Tesh.
Reese Death Tesh.
So then,
Your liege lord told you to relax. Come, have a drink with us.
she just gives you a cold glare, similar to what she gave the bird.
Michaeleen just Michaeleen leans on his fist and gives her a sly wink.
You see her casually,
Look. Sorry. Go ahead. Ow.
she casually moves her hands, resting them on her two short swords or blades on her hip and stuff, and casually just like does that on the outside of the sheath and stuff, giving a very clear message. Try it. I'll cut it off.
Renlo's just gonna like tap Michaeleen and be like, dude, she's working.
Plus, she could do better.
Anyway, Vander is sipping what looks like a very clear drink called a falling star. It's similar to the Dragon's Ember, but instead of various shades of grays and blacks, it's nearly translucent, but there are very slight hints of like greens and light blues going to a clear layer at the bottom. And what looks like to be basically a yellow star sprinkle of candy and stuff drop through with a similar streaking effect.
By
Cute.
the way,
Well, he proceeds to speak up. Well, I do have to admit, a device such as this is rather fascinating. Is this something of your own design, or is it something you found blueprints for, or is this something you repaired from the ground?
Which one is he? Which device is he talking about?
The ship.
The ship entirely.
The ship itself is entirely original design.
Ah, see. Fascinating things. I feel magic, but I don't detect or see any runes at all or carvings. Is this using that science I've been hearing about?
It is, yes.
Let's just study. He's just looking around, kind of amazement, sipping his drink, and you can most certainly tell he's kind of picking stuff apart in his brain, and just kind of looking at stuff and trying to figure it out. At least. So, going off Vander's statement, I presume the large cannons I saw were made by you as well? By the way, will the big guns on display? You know the ones I speak of.
No. They
Okay.
were actually hidden away.
Gotcha. Well then. You can almost see he takes a sip of his whiskey and stuff, not watered down, same way you had it, and he isn't pulling a face at all. You can definitely see he's mulling some.
I'm sorry.
He's kind of just thinking to himself for a moment, just kind of absorbing stuff. But you can most certainly think he's mulling something over in his mind, but he's kind of waiting to speak on it. And that's what you particularly get, Abe.
Michaeleen, what were you going to say?
My friend came in and I had to take off my headphones for a bit. What did I miss?
Just basically
very
small talk between Vander and Abe.
Okay.
Yep.
Anyway,
Is it Kain time?
not yet.
Damn it.
Don't worry. I'll do it. Abe, do you say anything to Malaric?
Malric, it seems like there's something on your mind. Can I inquire as to what it is?
I'm curious. The cannon designs are much different than anything I've seen in Hub. It's out of my place, but I'm curious. How big do you think you could scale one of those up?
I don't like the sound of this.
I played the fifth.
Are we talking feasibly or in actuality?
In actuality.
I mean...
I presume they use shells, of course.
Sure, we'll go with that. You could probably scale them up at least 10 times the size.
10 times. And these are the medium-classed guns, correct?
Yep.
He's kind of running numbers to his head, at least. Well, that certainly is an interesting thought. As he's about to say something, as all of a sudden, everyone hears heavy thuds. Thuds coming down the hallway. The second the HUDs are kind of third, Reese immediately moves towards the king, putting him like against the wall, and herself over top, up aiming near the doorway, a blade drawn in hand. She seems to be wielding some sort of short blade, maybe about that long altogether, and the blade does have a bit of a hook towards the end of it. It meant for ripping stuff apart. Art, at least. As she immediately takes her helmet that she was kind of resting under one arm, tosses it over her head, and it kind of almost auto-locks around her helm.
So it kind of is an Iron Man thing?
Sort of, kinda. Only the back portion kind of opens up, so she takes it off, so just...
Ava's gonna stand up in a hurry and there's no need to be alarmed.
I locked the doors. I swear I locked the doors to the below.
It's all right, Estrella.
The king locked the door to what?
The cargo bay.
Which
probably no longer has doors, so I'll have to fix that later.
A friend of us who has a bit of a medical condition.
My turn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking finally. Okay.
Oh no.
You just hear loud thuds coming up the stairs. As you see a set of white horns peek over the top.
Well, we're in the lounge, so you actually have to come through the door.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm coming up.
And I will also say Vander has cast a wall of force both around himself and the king.
Kane's just going to continue through. Rexy following behind, just bouncing like a... You know the dog that's really happy to play with its owner and to get snacks? That's Rexy.
A dog that has
like 5 feet tall.
No way, but if you like to do...
Yeah, Rexy's big.
5 foot tall by 7 feet long at least?
Yeah, at very least.
Oh my goodness gracious.
But
Rexy's big. He's big for a reason.
We're just coming through. We're coming through. He's not complete yet. That's why he's only 5 feet tall. But King, opens door. Hey, Jeffrey! Can I get some snacks?
As you open the door, you see a green-cladded person in green armor and stuff, draw a secondary blade and stuff, and is in a battle stance ready.
Oh, hello.
As you see a hobgoblin wizard holding up a wall of force around what looks like to be a very important individual. At least.
And the rest of us scattered around the lounge.
Michaeleen's going to casually stand up and casually walk over to Kain and offer him a drink. Here you are.
A rather large, not even like a beer pint stuff, just a pitcher of ale.
Yeah, just a pitcher of
Well,
ale.
for me, that'd be like a teacup at this point, right?
Well, no, it
picture
would be
like a cup.
It
You're
would
like
be
8
like
feet tall.
a
That's still
large
like
cup.
maybe-
I'm in between 9 and 10 feet tall right now.
Yeah,
That's
it would
still
be a
huge.
large cup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like an Oktoberfest
Okay, I'm
mug.
making this official 9 feet tall. Period.
Okay.
Period. 9.
Okay.
Sorry, you hit 10 feet, you're considered a large creature. You are not
That's why I
large.
said between 9 and 10, not 10.
9, period. Anyway, so
9. Okay, well, Kane's going to proceed to chug this down. That's pretty good.
Michaeleen is going to turn around.
and Reese are very much tense right now with this.
Michaeleen is going to turn around to the group and gesture to Kain. This is our friend Kain. He's currently having some
Growing pains, Renata
and
says.
some major dermatitis problems.
Very.
He's got a curse. Simple as that. It doesn't affect anybody else but him.
I'm gonna look around. I'm very confused as to what's happening and why they're making lies.
Beast from the 9 hells.
No, technically, Kain, it's not a lie that it's a curse. It technically is a curse per se.
And it
It's
is
not
also
so much a curse.
It is also technically a skin condition. I mean, he is
The condition of your skin is it's covered in shadows.
Yeah.
Anyways, Abe is gonna come over to Kain. Kain, meet the president of Varil.
Oh, Kane's tail is also gonna smash the door and split it in half. Just he's not used to controlling it again.
Oh.
They get even okay. Reese and Vander gave even more thing and stuff. As Vander,
And then here comes Rexy, and he just jumps on my back.
Reese proceeds to
Hey, brother! Somebody's happy to see you.
Reese even gets more in
Rexy's not done yet.
Vander proceeds to hold a hand behind himself and stuff as a magic sigil proceeds to form. With the spell El Teleport ready to go. As he almost has a hand on the hovering above the shoulder of the king and stuff.
Hey! I mean, no harm.
I also hate
I
to
just
say
looked
it, but the
very-
teleport sigil fizzes.
Why?
It just does.
Explain.
Teleport isn't allowed inside the ship.
Even I'm beholden to that rule. I can't cast Dimension Door in here. That's why every time I want to leave, I have to run out of here.
Teleport has to be done outside of the ship, either on the deck or outside. It cannot be done inside the Seraphim. It will fizzle. And that's not for any reason other than it'll fuck with the electronics.
Okay. Well, Vander's sigil does degrade stuff, and he does kind of become aware of this rather quickly when it starts to form. It forms, but then immediately starts degrading. Immediately gets aware of that and stuff. Immediately starts, in his brain, he's currently calculating and stuff, what spells he can use to get at the king out of dodge. Out as quickly as humanly possible, if needed.
I understand that looks scary, but have you ever seen a monster talk this well?
Well,
Yes.
Seems a good thing to say. You're not a monster.
Yes, I fought on several that can speak as clearly as you, demon.
Well, I'm not a demon, damn it.
That'd be my
I've
brother,
killed
thank
demons.
I'm gonna turn to them and be like, and Reyna's kind of voice is gonna take over in the Rainlow body, he's truly our friend. There's no need to be so frightened of him. He genuinely just wants snacks and will leave. And Rainlow's gonna look at Kain and be like, leave. Trying to make a point.
Kain.
Kain being dead.
I need
as all
to
hell, he's
do, like, a
I'm just getting my
persuasion check?
snacks.
Kain, for the last time, the snacks are not in the lounge. They're in the kitchen down the hall.
Yeah, they're down the hall. I gotta go through here.
Do I need to take him to
You forget the own design of your ship?
The hallway goes past the lounge.
Do I need to take him to the kitchen and make him something? Because I will.
I'm pretty hungry.
It might be a good
And
idea.
I mean, Rexy's hungry too. He hasn't eaten like years.
I will make you something to eat.
Either that or he's gonna eat Abe's workshop. One of the two.
Michaeleen, please make him some food.
All right, come on, Kain.
I'll be like, nice to meet you. I'm going to get food. You just hear stomp, stomp, and a fucking tail accidentally smacks a chair.
Go on.
Be careful, will you?
I'm trying. It's weird.
As Michaeleen and Kain proceed to walk down the hall, Rexy in tow, Reese is still in a battle stance, but Vander still has the wall of force, but he's kind of mellowing slightly. The King does have a hand on his own blade.
I'm going to turn towards them. I'm sorry about my brother.
Sir A, please explain your situation. You have both a monster hunter and a monster aboard your ship.
He's not a monster. It's just a curse.
Above board, explain to him that he's also technically a monster hunter because he's also part of the order.
It's not a curse, and technically all of us are part of the Monster Hunter Guild.
The Order of Aethor.
Yes, we are. The Wolf Division.
Kain wants to yell back, just, yeah, you can ask Eris.
Yes, if you know of Eris Valheim, she will vouch for us.
I see.
Especially me.
So you're part of the Wolf branch, then?
That we are.
Randall's gonna kind of lean over to Eiko real quick. Sorry.
If ever trouble is to follow a hunter, the Wolf branch is all you have. It is the only place you have to go. He mutters to himself. So, what business of the order are you doing here, or are you merely traveling through? He does have a bit of a annoyed and almost kind of gruff tone in his voice.
Above board,
Is that
remember
Vander?
my
Or
lie.
Is that Vander
The
or the
king
president?
himself. The president himself.
Above board, remember my lie. Michaeleen's here to investigate exactly what happened here.
As we
Yes,
said
you
before.
understand?
As we said before, we are merely here to investigate the cause of this crater. As we landed, the ship broke down.
We're currently within the process of identifying the residual energies that have come from the crater on the implosion. We seem to have found two types of energies, yet we haven't quite identified both at this moment, though we are working towards the process of identification.
Figuring out the cause.
That as well. Though to find out what exactly it is makes finding out the cause a lot more easy.
Yes.
Okay. Due to the
Eiko's also gonna kind of look back to Rainlow and kind of nod,
so then,
knowingly like we gotta
Okay.
talk.
so who wants to do the head persuasion check for this, or are we just gonna do a group persuasion?
I mean,
I
technically, we haven't
see.
lied once.
Also, Michaeleen's not there. He's in the kitchen now. Rainlow hasn't spoken at all during this except to be like, hey, he's no threat.
Actually, you
No,
know
I
what? At
can't.
this point, Estrella's probably gone to the kitchen too. Getting some more tea, and so that way she doesn't worry too much. She's in a very highly stressful situation. She's experienced a copious amount of stress last time, and she still hasn't recovered. So
As
That's fair.
Welcome to the PTSD
So
game.
I could roll for us because I have a
she's
decent
the one person
modifier.
who makes me feel somewhat safe and
Yeah,
sane.
could I do the assist option as well?
sure.
Everyone
So you
give him
get
the
a,
give him the
advantage?
assist.
So give So everyone's assisting, basically Ducky with the persuasion check.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so
You're getting
Ducky, you have +4 to this.
Okay.
an advantage because the assist option
Okay, that's a
gives who's
26.
ever speaking advantage, correct?
Well, shit.
What'd you roll?
Well, Vander got a 22,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and the king got a 26.
Do we need to what's meeting it mean?
We also have a lot of people with
Yeah.
Inspiration.
My network.
I'm gonna make the king reroll.
Okay, then.
I'm gonna pardon myself for just a moment. I will be right back as soon as I can.
Then he new roll, meets it. You got 24? He did got 24.
She got a 26.
No, we had a 26.
Wait, they got 26?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just you re-rolled the other people's roll.
Yeah. So
You keep your roll and roll.
that's a 22 and a 24. So we win.
Sure.
We win!
Yippee.
Yippee!
Hang on a sec, let me see if I have the proper photo for this. The noodles.
The king proceeds to... He's still very much tense, but he is taking a breath back and treating this as a argument across the table with diplomats are being difficult to work with, at least. Still very much tense, but knowing it's not worth putting the effort in at the moment.
Understandable.
So,
I told him.
how long will you be
I
staying
did.
in my
I told him
land,
to stop.
in my country?
Just as long as it takes for us to fix this ship and resupply. We have no qualms with you. If you've got qualms with us, speak up.
He takes a very deep sigh and downs the last bit of the whiskey that was poured for him. My apologies, Abe. Just, you can understand the state both I and my men are in. Seeing two beams of light eyed from distance much more powerful than anything that's been seen in this country over since 400 years. Then all of a sudden, going to investigate where it's coming from, we find a ship sitting next to it. The people there say they're studying this as well, but they're having issues. Do you not see how that could be a little disconcerting? And then realizing they also have a great beast aboard this ship, and they treat it as if it's a pet.
It's not a pet.
He does raise an eyebrow.
It's a person, first of all. And secondly, with that much magical energy still floating in the air, do you really think it wouldn't mess with other magical machinery? Of course we're having engine issues. So why don't you get the shiny little stick up your ass out and get off my ship? I invited you onto here with well tidings, and you come on here and decide to share suspicions, possibly even accuse. Meanwhile, we are just mere travelers. We mean you no harm, and yet you treat us with slight hostility. You bring cannons, aim them at my ship for no reason. Shall I continue?
Reese retorts, Says the person that doesn't have cannons of their own on their ship, that were aiming back at ours.
They point outward. What can I say? Also, you aimed first.
Michaeleen then walks in with a big batch of gumbo that he made for both Kain and Rexy. I made extra! This is a tense moment.
The magic that Vander was casting has been kind of put down.
Gumbo?
I'm dying over here.
Not for it,
I'm trying not to fucking.
Vander proceeds to kind of walk in front of both you and his king, and please forgive if Sir Abe, but we merely brought the cannons and stuff. We only brought the artillery and stuff as a safety precaution. We didn't know what we were going to find here, so we brought reasonable weapons to deal with such things. If you saw a great power source or us appear out of nowhere, would you not bring in the best measure to try to equal said power gap? Would you not?
Abe is going to look down at Vander. Sir Vander, look up at Reese. Madam Reese, look over at the king. President Malric. I personally would love to have friendly tidings between the two of us. Between your group and ours. I would love it if we could all leave as friends. Do I make myself clear?
Understand. Would you allow me to have a quick word with my lord?
Oh, feel free.
Thank you. He proceeds to kind of pull them out to outside and stuff as the door shuts behind them. Anyone wanting to eavesdrop on such things?
I will. If
No
they speak
need, there's
Aristocrat,
listening devices throughout the ship.
I will.
Okay. My sir, these people clearly have much better technologies than we have available. Their guns are probably more advanced than anything we have. We should be wary of them. And again, they deserve just as much respect. Again, what did you tell the people and stuff when you took the throne? I know. Oh, Vander, but
Don't play fuck around and find out.
you can understand the situation, and you are correct. You are correct. I was a little harsh on them. I didn't mean to.
Did Michaeleen leave his gumbo?
I think Michaeleen's
No,
still in the
you're still in
lounge.
the room. You're in the lounge and stuff. You kind of decided on.
Standing there holding the pot of gumbo.
I just see you guys carrying the walk-fill to the broom with gumbo.
Senchi's walk.
Renata just gently takes gumbo from Michaeleen, sets it on the table, and proceeds to leave, giving him. That way they have space. She kind of takes him back to the kitchen.
Food.
And proceeds to pour him and herself a drink.
Food.
That way they have it.
The last little bit of the
wonderful.
conversation kind of boils out. Again, if Abe was able to build these and stuff, just imagine what he could build stuff on a request. You're right. They proceed to re-enter and stuff. The king has most certainly the once hot bit tone. Put it this way, he's cooled off, at least. Sir Abe, please forgive my previous statements. I was in a bit of concern, at least. And please forgive both the actions both myself and my personal guard made, at least. We were disconcerted. At least we would love to make ties with you as well, at least. The cannons you made specifically, I have a request if you're willing to hear me out, even though I was rather rude.
Whatever requests you make at this point will be considered. I cannot guarantee anything.
Oh, of course. He proceeds to sit down again. So, I presume... How well do you know of the Civil War of Mandex?
Do you want me to roll history for that?
Sure.
Okay.
May I do the assist option?
Of course. So
Make
plus
that
11.
a roll with advantage, buddy.
Oh,
the
okay,
assist
good, because
only-
I needed that.
No. Assist just gives +2, max of 3 people.
What?
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I could assist, but I don't know shit or dick about this
Isn't it-
world.
Isn't the
Or
isn't
at
that
least
what
Rainbow
he's
does.
looking for is the help action?
The help action.
That's the one that gives advantage, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, well, I unfortunately rolled an 8, so that's still a 19 with the help action.
In
Okay.
that case,
Anyway,
can I roll?
19's more than good enough for what's needed. You get the general... From what you remember, at least, primary reason why Viril separated and stuff and basically caused the Civil War. Southern Mandex caused the Civil War was based 2 reasons. A, they got sick and tired of Orion cheating, and the southern portion of Mandex, the main gatherers of materials, Eros were getting screwed over royally by the northern half.
Gotcha. I know some of the... I basically know some of the motives behind the cause of the war. What of it?
Well, put simply, due to ever since 100 years ago, since we separated from Mandex, they have not recognized us as our own nation and country. They probably will never will. But annually, almost yearly, really, they try to send troops southward through the Mountain Gap Pass, as in retake for real, or at least claim territory so they can push forward. And each year we push them back. But it typically is a bloody conflict that lasts for at least 5 to 6 months. And if it gets bad. And if your cannon, the request I would like to make, my artillery pieces are not to the strength I need. Mandex, for every 1 cannon, artillery cannon I possess, Mandex has 10. They have us completely outgunned. The only reason why I were able to push them back is because their major forces are choked so heavily. But if your cannons look much more powerful than anything we possess. I'm merely requesting 1, if not maybe 3, if you're willing of them, and to be set up. If anything else, just as a show of force to finally get Mandex to leave my lands alone, so that my people don't have to worry about their sons and fathers, others being killed each year when they attack.
And why should I help the ones who incited the Civil War?
We don't lie or cheat. This is the honest facts. I have no other goals other than protecting my people, and I see an opportunity and way to do so. And I am taking the opportunity.
Abe's eyes are gonna travel towards the gun on Reese's back. May I see that?
She proceeds to kind of look towards the king and stuff. Him. Gives a bit of a gesture. She proceeds to pull it off and hand it to you. It is a large bore rifle. Maximum of 3 shots. And the it's about I'm gonna say essentially 50 cal per rifle and stuff. It's a big round, but it only has 3 shots. and it's bolt action. There is a fairly hefty blade on it as a bayonet as well.
Now, may I roll sleight of hand to disassemble it?
Sure.
You see here. There's a 28.
28. You managed to disassemble it up in 10 seconds flat.
The barreling's crude. The material for the stock is weaker than plywood. Your trigger mechanism is delayed by at least half a second. And the gunpowder you use is expired, in a sense of term. You were never going to win a war with this kind of technology.
Well, even with old equipment, we still managed to fend them off.
I've seen their technology. It is leagues better than yours. You've been holding them off because they've been letting you. They've allowed you to stay this way for so long. What little help a gun or two that I make for you, it wouldn't help. Can I put the gun back together now?
Sure.
You want me to roll?
Nah.
Okay.
You disassembled it in 10 seconds. You can put it together back in that same time.
I'm gonna hand the gun back to her.
She kind of gives you a slight glare, but then loosens up, proceeding to just toss it back on her back. Eiko?
Eiko's gonna look down to Renlu for a moment, and then of course Abe, the king, the colleagues, and kind of shift for a moment and ask, may we be excused for a moment? I was reminded of something I needed to discuss.
Okay. Who are you pulling to the side?
Renlu.
Okay.
You.
Renlo and Eiko proceed to exit the room as the door slides shut. What are you two talking about?
Number one, I want to head to the library and just kind of distance ourselves from the any of the royalty or the colleagues.
Gotcha.
We want to keep this conversation in general, actually, kind of further away from the party.
Literally went up 2 floors, so.
Yeah.
We're Eiko's sort of like on a mission to like go up there and is looking at Renlo with just like a little bit of concern and just I can't stop thinking about what happened last week.
Do we need to do this after the king leaves above board?
Yeah, we can do this after.
Yeah.
I at least want to.
I would prefer that, actually.
Yeah.
I can't find my favorite die.
Oh no! I wonder where that fish did go.
Anyway, we can go back to the plot.
Yeah.
So then, Abe, Vander speaks up. So, what do you suggest then, Abe? If our firepower is so outclassed by Mandex, what would you suggest then?
Complete overhaul.
Here's what I'll do. I will make it equal footing. How about that? I will make it so that you can actually hold your own against them, and with the force that they probably send out, you can beat them. Which will cause them to the next year, or even sooner than that, come back with an actual force. How about that? Then you can decide for yourself whether you need my help. I will even the odds to the point that you can beat them with the force that they send. If you try and use strategy. You need to beat them. You need to actually beat them, not just scare them. Scaring them will obviously tell them that you have a benefactor. You don't want them to just realize, oh, the only reason they won is because someone helped them. You want them to believe you grew that strength yourself. So, I will improve your firepower. I will not give you what I have, but I will improve what you have. In exchange for a friendly relation. And
you can very much see the king is kind of taking each word you say and really mulling it over and thinking about it. I presume you'll be needing resources for these modifications or improvements.
I will be using your resources, yes. I'm not going to be using my own for someone's gain that is not mine.
Of course. If you're going to be doing this and equalizing the footing, could we not get at least one cannon? Just one.
Like I said, I will improve the ones you have. Nothing more, but nothing less. If you need evidence as to how I will improve, Abe's going to open his jacket and pull out the rifle from the very beginning that he has now refurbished into a like brand new, pretty much almost exactly like the one on Reese's back, but obviously upgraded and has a clip that is actually 10 bullets instead of just 3.
Wait. Is this the explosive repeater?
No, not that. Well, yes, but it's not using those bullets.
Okay.
And it's really just a copy.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm going to pull that out and hand it over to Reese.
Reese proceeds to look it over. She proceeds to look it over and give it like a military grade inspection and stuff. Looks good.
It's also not bolt action.
Oh, so it's bolt action?
It's not.
Oh, so it's lever action?
It's semi-auto.
Oh, semi-auto.
You cock it once and it keeps shooting.
This will dramatically improve performance. How much do the mags weigh? As she's like fully on looking down the sights, checking the breech, everything.
Well, it depends on what you load in it. Normal bullets, about 10 ounces.
Depending on what you load. This thing has different specialty ammunition?
It can. Not saying I'll give it to you, but it can.
She kind of smirks when you mention that. I do like having options in combat.
Options in general are good.
My liege, this will most certainly increase our combat potential greatly. She does make a few thrusting gestures with it as if it had a bayonet on it. Doesn't feel as good as our rifles do for bayonet, but I presume this would not need such thing since...
Not really, but it could use one of these. Abe's going to reach into another pocket and pull out what looks like a scope.
A spyglass?
Attach it to the top.
Show me. As she kind of hands the rifle back to you.
Abe's going to attach, it just kind of like slides right on.
Slides right on, you hit like a little pin at the bottom that locks it down.
Picatinny rails?
Yes.
She takes it back, proceeds looking down. This will dramatically improve accuracy by a good number. I presume this is an infantry rifle.
It is an infantry rifle. Yes, that is correct.
What else would you... This will certainly be a good start, but Wars always use many tools. This would only be one to our toolbox.
Imagine that in a pistol form.
That would certainly get us a good start.
Abe's gonna pull out one of his old pistols and hand it over.
Proceeds to look it over again. I presume these bolts are a little heavier than what they're using?
Yes.
Much heavier than ours. So, much good. I presume very good stopping power.
Made to stop an elephant. Well. Sorry, I'll put this more in Dungeons and Dragons terms. What's the...
Made to stop.
I was able to
A
stop
bullet?
bullet with it.
Really? Well, that should be a good. I think if our forces were equipped with this would certainly equal the playing field, as you would say.
The only other thing I would do was increase the range of your cannons. Because right now they wouldn't even be able to hit my ship from where they are.
Okay, I'm just curious now, because the mentality I have and stuff is essentially they're packing howitzers.
You said they were 250 yards, right? That's 750 feet.
Okay.
I don't remember how far a howitzer goes.
So,
You're much farther than that.
Well, they didn't want to miss. Anyway. Should ad-libbing at this point. Well.
How about this then instead? The other thing I'll do is increase the firing rate and accuracy of your cannons. Because even though they're as close as they are, I think they still might miss.
I think that was a relatively fair trade, but you're receiving so little in return besides friendly relations. You sure there isn't anything else I can do to help even out what's being given? As the king himself says that.
You know what? You're absolutely right. Let me give a tidbit of advice then, as new friends. A new nation is forming. If I were you, I would back them.
I see. I only have one question at least. What does this nation stand? And with Mandex, is it the enemy of my enemy, or the friend of my enemy?
Well, the city's currently going to be taking a chunk out of Mandex, so it's up to you in that point.
If you're taking stuff away from Mandex, that makes me all the happier. As he reaches out a hand, as he proceeds to take his own gauntlet off, as he was unbuckling it during this conversation, and proceeds to hold out his hand, completely ungloved, revealing the skin and everything underneath.
Oh, I'm tempted for Abe to take his glove off too.
Is it going to be like that scene in the Terminator where Arnold Schwarzenegger just rips off his bio flesh and it's just mechanical slimy arm?
No,
it would just be
Hot.
It would just be the silver hand underneath.
the silver hand with the glowing veins. Yeah. No, Abe's just gonna shake his hand.
Okay,
Some secrets are better kept hidden.
of course.
Indeed.
Well then,
They already think we have one of the sources of those lights, alright? We don't need to give them a reason to think we have the other.
well then. It'll take time to arrange the proper things at least, but I am gonna be hosting a small gala at my palace. You're more than welcome. You and your entire band of cohorts. Your large compatriot is invited as well, but I would have to set a place where they can go, where they won't cause too much discomfort to my other guests.
Working on that as well.
When you arrive, at least, I should have most of the paperwork lined out, and you can begin showing or pointing my craftsmen in the directions of how to make these adjustments and modifications of these new arms you've given us.
President Malric, I believe we've come to a deal.
Of course, we'll get the formal paperwork lined out, and after this contract, at least, or this deal, I would like to arrange another military contract with you, if you'd be willing. And later down the line, of course. After we've shown we can defend them off, as you would put it.
We'll discuss that if you can keep up your end of the bargain.
We will. You have my word as the leader of Varil, and the word of my people and stuff. We will hold our end of the bargain. And when he says that, he looks you dead in the eyes, and you can tell he means it. Absolutely, 110%.
Not able to see my eyes.
Well, you know what I mean. He looks directly at your he looks where your eyeballs should be on your head.
Your eyes.
Alright, and let's skip over to another scene.
Okay.
Let's see what Kain and Rexy are doing.
Okay.
Eiko
As
and
opposed to
Okay,
Estrella.
never mind.
Eiko and the kobold.
The kobold. I love being called the kobold.
The kobold, because he can't ever remember Rainlow.
I
It's
do.
okay.
Hello.
It's
What's
okay. I
even
don't
worse
mind.
is
Actually,
you just
kinda
hover
funny.
your cursor
No, he
over
just forgets what
Discord
Eiko
and
is.
it's there. All three names are there.
Run low, run low, run low.
Say her name 3 times.
Oh my
and she'll
god! I'm.
Say her name 3 times. She'll leave you strawberry Pop Tarts.
Retlo. Oh.
No, hold on a second, hold on. You called Retlo, not Rainlow.
It's just the brother.
It's just
Well, in that case,
Retlo.
Raina.
Hey, you. I was about to say some weird shit. Never mind. I forgot we were streaming.
Yeah, let's not.
By now, would we have made it to the library?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Eiko's gonna sit in like one of the taller, like red, comfy chairs.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop thinking about last week. I don't think anybody has. But what I haven't noticed is anybody discussing when it happens again.
Probably because no one wants it to happen. We don't know if it's gonna happen.
I of anybody here, I want it to happen the least. This isn't something I haven't had happen. How do I say this? This isn't my first time in a situation like this. But I guess what I'm saying is, what are we gonna do to prevent another death? Had it not been for Abe, we would have been dead.
Well, my personal experience is running.
And how do we
But that
run?
should not be our responsibility. That should be the two brothers' responsibility for their own actions or lack thereof. That's not us. We're their friends, yes. But they've got shit going on. I have no idea the level of shit going on. Or at least I haven't been told.
I'm in a similar boat with you.
I'm not gonna risk my body, my life, my soul for someone. And no offense, I don't really know all that well yet.
Board real quick. Eiko does know Kain's past.
Not too much of it.
I gave y'all a pretty clear depiction in that bar.
The line you just like when you did the
When I did the illusion to literally show you guys my past.
Oh, true, fair.
Yeah,
You know
Eiko
what?
has
Fair,
a
you're
decent
right.
idea of what happened to Kain.
You've seen this appearance before.
Not in person though.
You saw from here up. You just saw white-faced demon. Well,
Yeah.
yellow-eyed demon as he was called. But
So he
Also
saw
known as Block.
Happy monster form, but again, my dude. Dude.
oh no, I'm just reminding him. He does know.
He has an
Kain's
understanding
past.
of stuff. But what he saw was a little bit of that mixed with the beast of chaos. At least. Not just you. I am kind of
I know. I'm saying because he was saying he didn't
he has an
know.
understanding of background history. He does.
That's all I
have
was
that.
reminding. That's all I was reminding is he did.
Okay.
That's all I was doing was reminding him of that.
Continue.
The only one who doesn't is Rainbow.
Because Rainlow is very new to all of this.
Granted,
because-
I gave a bartender PTSD and made him become an alcoholic.
And what I've been shown.
You
what
also
I've
made it
seen.
so that Michaeleen can't go to his favorite bar in his own hometown.
From what I know and from what I've seen, no real true words can honestly describe what Kain is. It's hard for me to process,
But
if I'm to be honest.
does it matter what he is? What matters is who he is. What
I'm
matters is the people
worried
around him.
about- Anytime I look into his eyes, anytime he looks at me, I don't see anything good coming.
And maybe you need to take a step back and look at yourself. Do you think you ever deserved a second chance? or deserved any kind of second chances for the shit you've done. I don't know what you've done. You've done terrible things. Don't want to explain them, but I've done terrible things.
This isn't the point. What I'm saying is, should something like this happen again, I need your help with at least making something.
If worse comes to worse, I'll help. I'd hate it, but I'd help.
Right. I see this happening in the future again. Something tells me. And I don't even know if Abe's going to be capable of dealing with it. Sure, what we saw, the whole energy, all that display of power, it felt like only a fraction of what Abe's capable of.
Could you say that again, but a little louder, please?
Yeah, your mic cut it off.
That display of power, what we saw, it seems like only a fraction of what Kain is capable of. And should something like that happen again, I need to be prepared. You wouldn't have to do. As you said, you don't want to risk yourself. But I need to be prepared to put down a dog.
I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. He seems
I can't.
all there.
No.
And maybe it's just because the only person that's really ever shown me the benefit of the doubt was my own mother. I'm a coward, but I'm still kind. But if worse comes to worse, I'll help. If he's no longer himself, I'll help you.
Rainbow lore drop.
Rainbow lore drop.
The more mysteries come. More mysteries about our strawberry.
Not even
Pop-Tart
starting.
Kobold.
Not even starting with the mysteries with Rainlow.
She's a mysterious strawberry Pop-Tart of a kobold, and we love her very much.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
But
As you
what
two,
I at least wanted to ask, you and your brother, how close are you with your god?
Very. We
That's a
speak
great start.
regularly, or at least we did,
Did
before coming here. That's why we want to go back so bad. Our connection with our goddess is not severed, but it's not great.
rained?
Yes.
I see. In the future, I may need your help in making a very holy weapon.
Oh, we can help with that.
as you
But
say
under
that,
no circumstances should we let anybody else know.
as said thing
Thank
is
you.
mentioned, both you, Eiko, you hear a voice within your head. Making a weapon. I believe you need a blacksmith for that. As you turn to the side and see Azzy has walked into the walked in your direction. At least hearing this. What do you
Echo
need?
pauses.
What did you hear?
I heard enough, and I'm merely doing my job. I'm a blacksmith, am I not? My duty aboard this ship is both to learn, earn, and defend its crew. Defend and its passengers and stuff. If they need weapons, I can make them. What do you need, Eiko?
We're gonna need a lot of angelic steel.
You know that stuff cannot be made on this particular planes, but I know a few tricks that can get us close. Not genuine angelic steel, but I think I have a trick or two that might come in handy and get us close to a similar product. Not exact, but close. And
You are to tell no one of this.
I'm just making a sword. What, don't you specify who it's for? Well, I will be needing a few things though for this. The method of forging Arcforge would not be useful for this at all. This is gonna be standard fire and anvil work. And I think I have a pretty good if I'm gonna do it, one of the things I'm gonna be eating is holy water for the quenching. And she kind of looks at Retlo, if I'm correct, and this is the first time you ever heard her. So I'll explain what it feels like. So you see her mouth. So she is a bug. At least she is a thicrene. So her mouth mandibles are moving, but you aren't hearing the words verbally. It's like they're in your head.
Okay.
And it feels a little weird when they speak to you.
It almost feels like there's this going on in the back of your head.
Yeah. And she put this way, she's one of the only people that can actually talk to you. So while you guys are fused together and stuff, she actually was talking to Retlo directly.
Okay.
That does not feel good.
In your head.
Oh, God. Okay.
It's like Charles Xavier, but a bug.
Of course. I'm going to shut the office door. Son of a bitch, why? Why do I gotta be caught on everything? Heaven forbid.
Okay. So, the blacksmith bug specifically was talking to Retlo.
Yeah, specifically Retlo.
Retlo's gonna go... Rainlow as the whole is kind of gonna, tilt their head, but Retlow's voice is gonna go, "What?" In their head.
You are a cleric, are you not?
Yeah?
Can you make holy water?
Yeah?
Then I'm gonna be needing lots of it. Along with that, have you given any blessings before?
Yeah.
Gonna need you to do that for this process as well.
Just point me at a vat of water.
Well then. Eiko, how fast do you want me to get this made?
Take your time.
Well, however long it can take to do this in secrecy.
You see her antenna kind of twitch a little bit as I could probably get it done within a week.
Damn.
If you want me to go fast, I might do it in 3 days.
I wouldn't want to rush you. In fact, I'd want you to make this blade perfect. It may take more than a week.
I I see.
I'm really going to be pushing your skills for this.
Improve. You can't sharpen a sword. Well then, regardless of these, he's Retlow. Ella, you and me are gonna be spending a lot of time in my forge. As she proceeds to kind of grab Rainlow and then and start dragging them to her workshop.
Bye, Eiko!
Eiko nods.
All right.
And the process begins.
Contingency plan. Contingency plan.
Yes. So, put
Meanwhile-
simply, she proceeds to start having you bless basically basically all of her tools, big thing of water, the space itself, anvil, fire. Like, she has you bless basically the entire workshop practically.
That's
in
cool.
preparation of
Does
this.
she also end up blessing a certain dagger?
The dagger's not in the creation space.
Fine.
You can, after, you can ask Rainlow to bless whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
It's
Rainlow
blessed.
can technically make the entire workshop a holy ground, but I will digress.
Yeah.
Renlo is the Oprah
What
of blessings.
as he needs you to do and stuff that is not needed. She's worked with she had to make specialty things before and stuff with holiness in mind, so she knows the process to do it, at least.
Well,
and
I'm sorry. I was going to give some lore on Rainlow. Technically, Rainlow can be considered a temple in and of themselves because they're a paladin and a cleric of the same god, so them themselves is like a walking temple.
That's cool.
that's okay. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind.
But do they have hallowed ground?
Whatever they walk.
Yeah,
like-
it's on top of them. You have to step on them in order to be stepping on hollow ground.
Bet. I'm gonna
Well,
step
they
on.
have, like, a statue
Wait,
of
would it hurt me
Please
to
don't
step on them?
Yes.
Yes.
Just like it did. Just
You
like
would
it
think it'd
hurt
be
us when we stepped
sadistic to
into a
step
church
on them, but it'd
before.
actually be masochistic.
A little freak.
Well, the other thing is that both Kain and I get hurt by going into holy ground.
Well, no,
shit.
Your soul got touched by Chester the Molester.
Yeah.
I got yeeted fucking out the door, down the fucking 20 feet of stairs,
Repeatedly.
against a gate. I just got
Repeatedly.
poof, and then I go back
Repeatedly.
again, and I go pull out my brother, and then poof.
And then Ayako just kept doing it to you.
Just kept putting you in.
Like, here, let me
This
help
is
you.
for all the years
Well,
of
technically-
This is for all the insults.
If Rainlow has like a room to themselves already, then they've probably already made their room like hollowed ground.
And
So,
yes,
hey,
Rainlow does.
David, I can't walk in there.
No, you cannot.
And Abe probably can, at fear of getting molested again.
Just like, okay, am I safe? No.
Hey, go
Abe's
into her
got
room
PTSD.
and I'll describe what happens.
No, I'm good, thanks.
Well,
Okay,
would it
you
be
guys-
like that because it's
Yeah.
because of my like specific god, or is it just any hollowed ground?
We'll put it this way. Hollow ground was hurting him specifically. That's with the whole heating and stuff. But with the whole soul, that was something else.
Okay.
Yeah, him soul literally got like fondled. Like,
Yeah.
Rainlow would not like that at all.
Imagine,
Rainlow
like, a
would actually
celestial
physically
being.
recoil at that knowledge and information.
A celestial being, just like their hand, just casually, not able to touch anything else. Going up to your soul and just going,
Oh,
This is your
Rainlow
soul.
would definitely not like that. Physical recoil, gagging kind of
Just-
thing.
just taking the soul and going,
And then hold on, let me show you exactly what happened to Kain, right?
Oh, I do want to
Okay.
mention that we should
We got
also.
temple door here, right?
On.
Kain walks in. Yeet!
Good.
So meanwhile, Estrella's just kind of been in the kitchen with Michaeleen. Yeah, she's cleaned up the dishes Michaeleen used for cooking, and she's kind of looking around, and yeah, she's disturbed. She's just a little off.
Is there something bothering you?
What makes you say that? I mean,
You're just a bit off than usual. Is this about the egg?
no, it's not about the egg. Well, it's about basically everything that happened yesterday and everything that's currently happening, and
Or a week ago.
a week ago, I saw Eiko die.
Michaeleen's going to shrug his shoulders, and he's going to reveal the Tree of
Tattoo.
Life tattoo on his chest to Estrella.
Technically
Sure.
speaking, I have died myself before. This was the only thing that saved me.
Why didn't you tell me?
I
You
did
died
tell
prior.
you. I told you. And I lost my brothers and my father. We were all poisoned. But because I was the only one with Milia's blessing at the time, I was the only one who came back.
Or I must have forgotten. I don't think I could ever come back.
You never know. I try not to think about it. Because thinking about it makes me want to go back to the drink.
And speaking of drink, do we have anything else for drinking?
I don't know.
Michaeleen's going to. Is there any more? Did the king at all try my gumbo? Is he even still on the ship? Did he leave?
I'm guessing collectively at this point, yeah, they did leave. Vander did take some of the taste some of the gumbo and enjoyed it, and did like snag a small bowl. Like he made a bowl of it and put in a pocket dimension stuff for later.
All right, so I guess we're. I don't know. I don't know what to do with this situation right now. It's quiet.
I'm
It's
You,
No.
I'm scared.
Michaeleen, sifting through, on that whole thing, proceeds sifting through, not.
what?
Oh, sorry, I just was reading something. Ducky shot my way. Anyway, whew. You begin looking through the cabinets and stuff. You aren't really seeing any alcohol that's meant for drinking per se. Mostly just cooking wine and things of that nature. You do start looking and do find a very small cask of Merlot. And it's like literally small cask, like yay big.
Okay. Yeah, so
And you scrounge up a couple glasses.
What has you so scared, Estrella?
Everything. House Montague finding me again. Them finding you. Seeing Kain turn into that thing. Seeing Eiko die. I finally have people again. Where I'm not alone and I'm scared of losing them. I'm scared of being taken away from them.
Michaeleen's going to set his drink down, and he's going to just hold her hand.
I know things seem scary now, but Holviti always taught me that when you're scared, the best thing to do is to stay focused. The worst thing to do is panic. Because when you're scared, you don't make the best decisions. You become sloppy. You become sloppy, and you...
I've completely lost my train of thought there. Fuck. I'm sorry.
I've been trying to stay focused. Noticed how I'm not panicking. It's just... I've been writing everything down that's happened. Because that's my outlet, but... it's starting to lose its edge. And I haven't been sleeping well. I hardly slept at all last night. Scared of losing you. It means so much to me, Michaeleen.
Michaeleen really doesn't know what to say right now. So... man, this is an awkward situation. I'm sorry.
You're welcome.
He doesn't know his emotions.
Fuck bastard feels real emotions. Hello?
Just saying, if it's too much of a tense situation, I can just say something really cursed right now as a possible solution.
No.
I mean, Abe could walk in.
Maybe.
Oh, I have a thing. Lucy skitters off of Michaeleen's back and goes and curls up into Estrella's lap and just like nuzzles into her.
Estrella just looking down surprised. Your lizard.
She can sense that you are scared and wants to make you comfortable.
I appreciate the gesture, and she kind of gently scritches right between Lucy's horns. Plus, I am a bit worried about the egg. I mean, what happens when it hatches?
I don't know. I don't even know if it will hatch.
It will. I can tell. But I don't know, it also seems a little weird. But then again, I'm a harpy, I'm female, and I have the maternal urges, and I want to be a good mother figure.
Can I show you something?
Of course, you can show me anything.
I'm going to bring her to the greenhouse.
when Estrella shifts her weight to stand up, Lucy kind of takes a bit of a perched position on her shoulder.
Okay. Kind of gently gives her some more head pats. A gentle boop of the snoot.
Michaeleen's going to bring her to his sapling. The sapling that he grew from the apple that he got
Nice
from
eyebrows, honk.
Amelia's stump.
Hello.
Michaeleen's going to look at her and say,
Lately, when I've been feeling stressed, or scared, or anxious, I've been coming here. I feel a calming presence from this sapling. Maybe it's just because it's from Melia, or maybe it has something to do with the fact that it might become a dryad.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I think it will become a dryad.
I understand what you're feeling. I've been there myself. I have been there myself. You're welcome to come here whenever you feel you need to calm down. And if you can't sleep, then you're welcome to bunk in my room.
I appreciate that. And this whole time that she's been with Michaeleen, she has been out of her quail glamour, and carefully avoiding nudging Lucy off. She reaches and she yanks one of her feathers out from her wing, and she gives it to Michaeleen. I wasn't just making that up with Renla when I said that. It was a kind gesture among hobbies to give feathers to friends or people we're close to. The upside of being in the House of Montague was that they had a very extensive library, and I got to learn lots of things aside from espionage.
he's going to take the feather and you'll see what he'll do with it later. Can we cut to a different people? Because this is a lot.
Of course.
We end up cutting to a scene of Abe walking to wherever Abe is walking to, with Jeff right behind. At least. Well, Marek did seem rather interesting, I can say the least. A little brash, but for Hufflepuff, he seemed fairly reasonable.
We'll see.
I would say your distrust of him is unwarranted, but with his actions, I can see why. I won't press them out. I won't press that particular matter, Master.
Well, I don't trust anyone on our first meet anyways.
I presume you don't even trust me.
You're getting there. but don't push it.
Hey, at least I'm moving up in the world. That makes me happy. So, then. You really are going to equalize their firepower. Aren't you?
I'll do minor improvements.
But won't Mandex get a clue? Won't they get suspicious how an enemy suddenly went from barely able to hold them off merely due to their numbers being choked out to all of a sudden having weaponry that equals their own, if not slightly exceeds it? Won't that slightly tip them off to something?
No. I'll cash in that favor with Azo. Have him stop by. Should be able to cover our tracks. What of the situation back in Mandex? Any news from Nodo?
Nodo has sent a report in. Nothing much, at least, but to put simply, the little project has been established, and he's been working with the underground networks. Difficulties have arisen, and he's doing his best to compensate for them.
Whatever arises, I know Nodo is able to deal with it. If I have to take the situation into my own hands, I will. I don't foresee needing to, though.
Yeah. One piece of information has come up that one of the guilds that was one of the groups that used to be rather frequent and stuff has withdrawn and hasn't been seen in a long time.
That is disconcerting.
Right.
I would definitely keep an eye on it, but I think for now it may be nothing.
I see. Okay. Would you like me to pen a letter? Pen in a few letters then? One to Nodo, and then one to Azo?
Yes, please. I need them penned properly.
Of course. As my penmanship is rather exquisite, is it, Abe? I shall not fail you. Anything else you need this evening, sir? Hot toddy, perhaps?
No. Abe's gonna take his mask off and just put it back in his jacket. I think for right now, as night falls, this should be fine.
Yes, so. If you need anything, you merely have to summon me, and I shall come. As he proceeds to give a slight bow of respect, and then proceed to walk out to his little station he has set up for himself, and proceeds to start penning some letters.
Abe is going to step outside and lean against the railing.
And with that, as you look over, so Abe, as you kind of lean over the railing, you take a look up at the sky, and at this point, it's been nighttime. It's nighttime. Stars are fully illuminated across the sky, and you're kind of just looking at the stars.
Kain will be in the crow's nest, just looking up.
Yeah. As you proceed to look down at these, you can see the lights in the distance of the army as they are looking like they're currently heading back towards the capital. And that's where we are ending it tonight.
Thank you all for watching. This session might have been a little slow and slower paced than most, but we are thankful you have watched. And like and subscribe. Tell us what your favorite scene was. And thank you all again. This is Kain Volt. Goodbye.